Yeah, as you see, times always change up and down. Can't help it. So, how do the people actually feel about uh, the general feeling of the people about Cheng Li-wun going to China, to the mainland? How is it? How do the people take it? I saw a couple of, yeah, very enthusiastic and very negative people. Uh, why do why are there people that viewing this as a negative? That is,
I think there is a strong vocal minority, and they're very strong haters. And these people, from what I see, they usually have more time on their hands. They have more money, and they can sit around being hateful online. And some of these people are kind of stuck in time. Like I said, they still think America is a savior. America is still in a golden age. China is still poor and backwards, and in the Cultural Revolution era, and um, and basically any sort of engagement with China is seen as evil. Any sort of effort to understand the mainland Chinese perspective is evil. And I think you can find these people in Canada too. You can find these people in America everywhere. In Canada, these people would be the Maple MAGA people. They're often low information, and they have some discriminatory beliefs. There are Taiwanese people. The image is that Taiwanese people are all warm and gentle and kind, but there are racist Taiwanese, and there are Taiwanese who believe they are very much superior to mainland Chinese, which is funny considering that 95% of Taiwanese are Han Chinese, right?
yeah,
And so it is a bit of a mental acrobatics to say that we are Taiwanese and not Chinese when our constitution states we are the Republic of China. So it is a weird mental game, but I would say most Taiwanese people support it, support Cheng Li-wun's trip to mainland China. You might have seen on TV before her trip, people were making fun of her. The experts, some talking heads, some pundits, they were making fun of her, calling her naive, calling her this, that, and the other. But Zheng Liwen didn't come from an easy path. And she used to be in the DPP. She used to support Taiwanese independence. She's not some fool. She's gone through the spectrum, and everything has been lived experience. And it is her contention, along with my position, that engagement and diplomacy and good faith talks with mainland China is the best for Taiwan. And I think people are seeing that. Um, After her trip, there was that uptick, like I mentioned. Over 20% of Taiwanese people in that poll now support some aspect of engagement and peaceful dialogue with mainland China. And this is a considerable number, considering that um, most people just wanted status quo and they don't want to talk about reunification at all, whether it's peaceful or not. And so I think people are seeing more and more, like it might be very obvious to you, Mr. Fong, and people like you, but in Taiwan, even if people know the truth, they're just constantly bombarded by the media.
mhm.
So people might people might support this engagement with China, but they'll still have paranoia and doubts in their mind. They'll think, well, you know, maybe mainland China ultimately they just want to exploit and abuse Taiwan. And this DPP line of 糖衣毒药, everything that China offers is poison wrapped in sugar. And so, you know, the Taiwanese people struggle with this constant media paranoia. But then suddenly, when goes to mainland China, and the way Xi Jinping talks and the way Beijing responds in terms of offering material benefits that list, agricultural benefits, travel benefits, and And Xi Jinping so very clearly states that there is nothing we can't negotiate as Chinese compatriots on both sides of the Taiwan Strait. I think I think this kind of talk does help, but at the same time, the situation is complicated because Western warships still come close to Taiwan and mainland China. So
Yeah.
China still has to show that it's a serious strength and force to be taken seriously because without military power, there is no political power, right? And especially dealing with America. So I think this then makes Taiwanese people go, "Oh, you see, they talk nice to us, but China still has this military posture." And then they have to understand that this military posture is against the American empire. So this goes back to what I said before, that ultimately China needs to rise so much, it has to shock the Taiwanese in a good way. Otherwise, the Taiwanese are just kind of stuck in this game, this quagmire.
Yeah, but yeah, so yeah, it's very hard for them. So they don't understand there's cause and effect. I mean, if China is doing a military drill, there's obviously a reason for it, right? It always has been a certain reason. So just don't do those things and nothing will happen, right? I mean, China isn't going anywhere, right? The mainland stays the mainland, and it just cannot move. It cannot just pick up the ground and move it somewhere in the North Sea here, right here in Europe, right? It's just impossible. So neither can Taiwan do that, right? They cannot just drift off like a floating island. It's just stuck there, right? So they should
Yeah,
find a
geography,
way to have to be good with the neighbors at least, right? Even if they
definitely.
even if they don't feel as a part of the mainland, it is only beneficial to them to have a good relationship.
Yeah, I think it's just like geography is destiny, some say. And it's just the nature of the human condition and the media. I definitely support what China is doing in terms of pushing back against the First Island chain and American hegemony in the Taiwan region. But by nature of doing these military drills, you will cause that rift. Do you know what I mean? There will always be some people who don't understand.
Yeah.
And the people who do understand, they might be challenged in their position by the society. So that's the picture I'm trying to paint. Where just this Taiwan is this place. It's this tiny island with a big condensed population, and it's just a constant arguing and back and forth, and yeah.